Penguin Random House Audio presents The Last Town, Wayward Pines, Book 3, by Blake Crouch. Read for you by Max Meyers. For my angels, Ansley and Adeline. Then the Lord spoke to Job out of the storm. He said, "Who is this that obscures my plans with words without knowledge? Brace yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me if you understand. Who marked off its dimensions? Surely you know. Who stretched a measuring line across it? On what were its footings set, or who laid its cornerstone? While the morning stars sang together, and all the angels shouted for joy." Job, chapter 38, verses 1 through 7, New International Version. We are the last of our kind, a colony of human beings from the early 21st century. We live in the mountains of what was once Idaho, in a town called Wayward Pines. Our coordinates are 44 degrees, 13 minutes, 0 seconds north, and 114 degrees, 56 minutes, 16 seconds west. Is anybody out there? Portion of a voice and Morse code radio transmission, broadcast across all shortwave bands out of Wayward Pines superstructure, on a continuous loop for the last 11 years. Prelude. David Pilcher. Superstructure, Wayward Pines, 14 years ago. He opens his eyes. Frigid. Shivering. Head throbbing. Someone stands over him wearing a surgical mask, face a blur. He doesn't know where he is, or, for that matter, who he is. A clear mask is lowered to his mouth. The voice, a woman's, urges him. Take a long, deep breath and keep breathing in. The gas he inhales is warm, concentrated oxygen. It flows down his windpipe and hits his lungs with a welcome burst of heat. Though her mouth is covered, the woman leaning over him is smiling at him with her eyes. "Better?" she asks. He nods. Her face grows sharper, and her voice. Something familiar there. Not the timbre itself, but the way he feels toward it. Protective, almost paternal. "Does your head hurt?" she asks. He nods. "That'll pass soon. I know you're feeling a lot of disorientation." Nod. "That's completely normal. Do you know where you are?" Head shake. "Do you know who you are?" Head shake. "That's okay too. You've only had blood in your veins for 35 minutes. It usually takes a couple of hours to find your bearings." He stares up at the lights overhead. Long fluorescence, far too bright. He opens his mouth. "Don't try to talk yet. Would you like me to explain what's happening?" Nod. "Your name is David Pilcher." He thinks that piece of information sounds right. The name feels like his own on a level he can't quite grasp. At the very least, like a star that belongs in his sky. "You're not in a hospital. You haven't been in a car accident or suffered a heart attack, nothing like that." He wants to say that he can't move, that he feels as cold as death and afraid. She continues. "You've just come out of suspended animation. Your vitals are all in the green. You've been sleeping for 1,800 years in one of 1,000 suspension units, which you created. We're all so excited. Your experiment worked. The crew came through at a 97% survival rate. Better by a few points than you projected, and with no critical losses. Congratulations." Pilcher lies on the gurney, blinking at the lights. The heart monitor he's attached to begins to beep faster and faster, but it isn't from fear or stress. It's exhilaration. Within 5 seconds, it all clicks in. Who he is, where he is, why he is. Like a camera racking focus, Pilcher reaches a hand up, heavy as a chunk of granite, and pulls the mask away from his mouth. He stares up at the nurse. For the first time in nearly 2 millennia, he speaks, raspy but clear. "Has anyone gone outside?" She removes her mask. It's Pam, 20 years old and ghost-like in the wake of her long, long sleep. And yet, still so very beautiful. She smiles. "You know I wouldn't let that happen, David. We waited for you." 6 hours later, Pilcher is on his feet and moving unsteadily down the level 1 corridor, flanked by Ted Upshaw, Pam, Arnold Pope, and a man named Francis Levin. Levin's official title is steward of the superstructure, and he's talking a mile a minute. "Had one hull breach in the Ark 783 years ago, but the vacuum sensors caught it," Pilcher says. "So our provisions—" "I'm running a battery of tests, but everything appears to have come through fully preserved." "How much of the crew has been awakened?" "Only 8, counting us." They reach the automatic glass doors that open into the 5 million square foot cavern that serves as a warehouse for provisions and building supplies. Affectionately called the Ark, it is one of the great feats of human engineering and ambition. A damp, mineralized smell pervades. Massive globe lights hang down from the ceiling, stretching back into the Ark as far as the eye can see. They walk toward a Humvee parked at the entrance to a tunnel, and already Pilcher is breathless, his legs threatening to seize up with cramps. Pope drives. The tunnel's fluorescent luminaries aren't yet operational, and the Humvee plunges down the steep 15% grade into abject darkness. Nothing to light its way but the lonely headlights blazing off the wet rock walls. Pilcher rides up front beside his henchman. The disorientation is still present, but retreating. His people have told him that the suspension lasted 1,800 years, but with each breath he takes, that seems less and less possible. In truth, it feels as though only hours have passed since that New Year's Eve party in 2013, when he and his entire crew drank Dom Perignon, stripped naked, and climbed into their suspension pods. His ears release pressure as they descend. His stomach tingles with nervous energy. Glancing over his shoulder, Pilcher stares at Levin in the back seat. A lithe young man with the face of a baby but the eyes of a sage. "We're going to be safe breathing in this atmosphere?" Pilcher asks. "It has altered," Levin says, "but only slightly. Nitrogen and oxygen, thank God, are still the main components, but the makeup is now 1% more oxygen, 1% less nitrogen. Greenhouse gases have returned to pre-industrial age levels. I trust you've already begun to depressurize the superstructure." "That was the first order of business. We're already sucking in air from outside." "Any other pertinent bits?" "It'll be a few days until our systems are fully powered up and debugged." "Where does our electron clock place us in terms of the Christian calendar?" "Today is February 14th, 3813, in the year of our Lord." Levin grins. "Happy Valentine's Day, all." Arnold Pope brings the Humvee to a full stop, its high beams shining against the backside of the titanium portal that has protected the tunnel, the superstructure, and all who sleep within from the world outside. Pope kills the engine, leaves the lights running. As they all
Sample complete. Ready to continue?